All right, Madam President, we're ready to go.
Good afternoon and welcome to the meeting of the Sugarland Development Corporation and the governing body of the City of Sugarland. I would like to call our meeting to order. City Secretary, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
No, ma'am, we do not.
Okay, item number 4, minutes, consideration of and action of the minutes of the March 2nd, 2021 joint Sugarland Development Corporation and Sugarland 4B Corporation meeting and April 6, 2021 regular meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Director McCutcheon and a second. I'll second that. Okay. Okay, motion passes. Item number 5, workshop, review of and discussion on the integrated marketing plan. Melissa Raju, Tourism and Marketing Manager, and Catherine Saunders, DCI, Senior Vice President, Client Strategy.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melissa Raju, and I'm the Tourism and Visitor Services Manager. Today, we will be discussing our 6-month integrated marketing strategy that we've executed with DCI thus far. As you may recall, we began a 12-month program with DCI, which would help us focus on positioning Sugarland as a location of choice as Texas economy recovers from COVID-19 impact, especially to economic opportunities related to migration to suburban markets outside of the Houston urban core. To help us achieve this goal, DCI created a 3-pronged success plan for our integrated marketing strategy. I'm sorry, do we have a PowerPoint presentation that we're sharing?
Yes, ma'am, let me get that up right quick.
I'm sorry, I realized I was like, oh, wait, it's not there anymore. Would you guys like for me to continue without it? Okay.
It's up.
Okay, thank you so much. So I will pick up where I talk about the 3-pronged success plan for our integrated marketing strategy. So DCI, to help us generate national media coverage that communicates our business advantages, target corporate executives in key markets with digital advertising to generate leads, nurture relationships with and educated site selection consultants. The success plan includes 4 components. Number 1 is to build a firm foundation, Number 2, ramping up proactive and reactive pitching. Number 3, utilizing our own channels to drive positive conversation. And number 4, generate leads with hyper-targeted digital advertising. And now I will turn it over to Kat Saunders, our DCI Senior Vice President, Client Strategy. Kat, next slide, please.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. Just as a reminder, this slide is just the key members of the leadership team for Sugarland, along with myself, Steve Duncan, who is lead of our paid digital campaign strategy for Sugarland, is overseeing the paid advertising that we're doing to attract business and get in front of site selectors and other industry executives. Caitlin provides guidance on media strategy. Jackie, who many of you have already met, is our day-to-day project manager on this account, and Brooke Avery also provides support on this account. There are probably a dozen or more other people within the agency who help support the Sugarland team behind the scenes, specifically in business attraction, lead generation, and design and creative services. Next slide. So just to capture some of our success to date, and when we talk about building a foundation, a lot of that is getting your digital marketing components in a row, but also establishing messages so that everyone's on the same page, establishing social media channels and building content for those items, as well as supporting the team on the other economic relief campaigns like the All In for SLTX. A few points I just want to point out as part of this. The e-newsletter has grown from just a couple hundred recipients when we first got that spreadsheet with the Excel list to more than 1,000 recipients. We've had great engagement with local businesses through the e-newsletter, and we were able to not only provide emergency information that we needed to get out, but also we're now using it as a long-term communications tool for the entire economic development team. We've also really focused in on getting our messages right and getting them consistent. We did find that there were messages in place, but they were, in different pots all over the city. And what we did was we went ahead and took those key business messages and aligned them all in one place for the economic development team. We've also been working on press release development, crafting pitches, working with local, regional, state, and national news outlets on your behalf. And also really paying a lot of attention to social media, LinkedIn in particular. We have seen our followers double. We're now at more than 500 followers. And we've also seen an increase in page views 4 times over. Next slide. I could talk a little bit more just on that last one about the All In for SLTX campaign. I know a lot of us have had these discussions around that already. But, provided start to finish support on all aspects of the All In campaign, from media, creative, digital, and beyond that. So when we talk about our foundation, what does that mean? That's really setting the stage for success. So we met with almost a dozen local stakeholders, everything from the museums to the foundation to large businesses, small businesses, the university. So I think, just really getting our hands in all different parts of your economic development ecosystem. We're cultivating relationships with local spokespeople. And when we do this, then we're able to be more responsive and more proactive about media leads. So for instance, we got a lead on a story about people leaving California for Texas. We get that lead, we share it with the team, and we're able to kind of find those pockets of information that are scattered throughout the city of Sugar Land and bring those stories to the media proactively. We're also really focused in on establishing some lists for you that are key targets for this campaign. So, at the local, state, national level, where are our goals? Where do we want to be? We know we want to be in the New York Times. Everyone wants to be in the Wall Street Journal. So focusing in on that, but having a list in place, just really getting some systems in place to keep this organized and strategic and use your resources wisely. Next slide. And then as we establish all of those foundational items, we really ramp up our pitching. So as you can imagine with COVID, we would have normally flown in, gotten our boots on the ground and explored and met with all these different stakeholders and companies. But what we did was do those virtually, and we were able to identify stories over time. Now we are starting to insert that dialogue into national trends and story ideas that us as a place marketing agency are able to get access to with media sources. For instance, we often will have reporters call and say, we need 3 examples of regions that are attracting life science companies, or we need 3 examples of retrofitting commercial real estate to accommodate new growth in the life sciences, just to give you a couple of examples. Those are the types of conversations we're having with Elizabeth and her team throughout the week, and we're trying to feed up leads that will support your business attraction campaign. Another thing that we do is we play back results. That's fine. Next slide's fine, actually. This is just an example. We've worked with Hope Biosciences, and the team there is so enthusiastic about working with us. They've been great about sharing their news. Their media relations team is in touch with us. And so this was getting them in one of the leading industry publications in the biotech arena. They were working on a COVID long haulers study, and we were able to get them inserted into 2 articles through Biospace that called out their location in Sugar Land. You can go to the next slide. And that's really what we take is those results and play them back. So then we put them on social media. But we're also using social media to drive conversation that's positive about Sugar Land and call attention to the type of content that we want in front of people. And I always say this, that's one of the best things about social media is you can take the content that is valuable for the city to have out there and have eyes on it and get it out there through your channels. So we've done that. And you can quickly look at this slide here and see some of the increases in engagement. And engagement is when people are either liking or commenting on your social media posts. And that's been a key target for us, is to increase that engagement. You don't want people just passively viewing your content. It means that the content isn't right for them. So what we've tried to do is put the right kind of content out there for the audiences that are important to you. We can go to the next slide. In addition to organic content, we're doing paid campaigns through digital advertising. These are targeted specifically for your key industry sectors and audiences. We also are doing a lot of work with you on SEO. Just last week, we went through all of the pages of the website and really looked for ways to optimize that for SEO. Here you just see a couple of clips of examples that we've shared with the team, where things that you'll find when you're searching. So you might be searching for manufacturing in Houston, and what you see here is what will pop up at the top of the Google page. I'm sure many of you are used to doing that on your own for personal and professional items. This is what you'll see for Sugar Land. So I'd encourage you to try that a little bit and see what you find. We're always changing this. And one of the things I like to say is that this is like a living campaign. So we're constantly looking for trends of what people are searching. We're evaluating that every single week and tweaking your campaign ever so slightly just to accommodate the trends that we're seeing in search. We're also doing ads that are beautifully designed to match your branding that has been established and getting those served up to people who've either shown interest in Sugar Land already or who are visiting your webpage. We have a couple metrics I want to refer to too. So far we've generated almost, I guess at this point, we're almost at about 10,000 impressions on our ad campaign. The industry benchmark rate for click-through is 3%. We're at almost 4.5%. And so we're at a really healthy part of this campaign right now, and we're just at the start. So we're really happy with the way this is performing. We're also leveraging being in the Houston region as part of this, and with all the emphasis on Texas, we're really playing that up through our ad campaign. Site consultant outreach has been another focus as of late as people are returning to offices and open to meetings more. So we're working through our database of site consultants that we maintain and working on one-on-one meetings for Elizabeth to have with site consultants who are focused on the industry sectors that you're targeting. We'll be doing both virtual and in-person meetings with a particular focus on California, New York, and Texas consultants who have the most opportunity to bring to your area. In addition to the newsletter that we started for your local businesses and other stakeholders in the community, we're also planning to do site consultant e-newsletters on relevant information that's timely, that is of interest to them. These are only sent out when that's the case, and we encourage our clients not to send those out unless there's an announcement. So for instance, if there's a wonderful new piece of property available or a redevelopment project that might have an opportunity for this audience, we would go ahead and prompt getting a site consultant e-newsletter out. I'll go to the next one. Oh, and that's my last slide. It's going really well so far. I'm delighted to be working on this campaign, and I'll just reiterate, we couldn't be this far without the staff. We have touch points with the economic development team, the entire office really, all throughout the day. And so that's a key part of this success, is to have that healthy client agency relationship, and we've been very pleased so far. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Kat. Are there any questions from the directors? No questions. Okay, well, thank you so much for your presentation. We look forward to seeing a lot of exciting things coming out marketing-wise for the city of Sugar Land. Okay, we'll move on to item 6, quarterly report. Review of and discussion on fiscal year 2021 second quarter report. Alba Panate Johnson, Business Development Manager.
Good afternoon, everyone. Whitney will help me with today's presentation. I'll wait for it to come up on the screen. Thank you. So this presentation will feature highlights from the FY 2021 Q2 report, which covers January through March of this fiscal year. And the full report will be sent electronically to you later this week. Next, please. For year-to-date sales tax performance for quarter 2, total sales collections are $25.87 million for the year, with reoccurring sales tax collections of $25.55 million. The city has accumulated approximately $5.91 million in additional sales tax revenue over the budgeted amount. The reoccurring sales tax is greater than the budget of $19.60 million by $5.59 million, and $0.31 million is a one-time revenue from audit adjustments and one-time payments. Next, please. Next, I'll briefly go over the quarter 2 metrics for our office, industrial, and retail markets, as well as other business development updates. Next, please. So for our office vacancy has increased slightly from last quarter to 13.8%, which is 0.8% higher than last quarter. Office workplace trends that have resulted from the COVID-19 pandemic, such as telecommuting, temperature checks, and hybrid work schedules, continued into this quarter and are expected to continue to an extent in the next. The business development division is actively working with the leasing agents representing some of our largest buildings in order to help fill the vacancies. This quarter, we have responded to a few office-related leads as well. Next, please. For the industrial market, the industrial vacancy rate increased slightly from last quarter and remains low at 3.5%. An existing trend of increased industrial space demand continues to be exemplified throughout the pandemic, and the Sugar Land Business Park is expanding with the addition of a new 320,000 square foot industrial development by Levitt Industrial LLC at 500 Industrial Boulevard. Sugar Land Crossroads, pictured on the slide, is a 326,792 square foot speculative warehouse and distribution property by Transwestern Development Company and is completed and is currently being marketed for lease. Next, please. For the retail market, the retail vacancy rate decreased from last quarter by 1% and is now 7%. Governor Abbott issued Executive Order GA-34 in March, lifting the mask mandate in Texas and increasing capacity of all businesses and facilities in the state to 100%. Retail continues to operate using safe practices that have resulted from the pandemic, such as enforcing social distancing, disinfecting common surfaces, and setting occupancy limits. Next, please. As for tourism, occupancy percent in hotels has increased to 52.2%, which is 15.6% higher than last quarter. Compared to last year, the hotels have seen a similar percent occupancy, but lower revenue per available room due to the pandemic. Tourism revenues are lower than last year due to this anticipated decline, and the hotels are seeing an increase in demand for future years, but still have a way to go to get back to pre-pandemic figures. Next, please. So now to some highlights from our integrated marketing program. 40 new followers were gained on the Sugar Land Economic Development LinkedIn page, and DCI has developed and launched 3 Google ads highlighting target businesses, or target industries, The percent of impressions that resulted in a click is 4.12%, which is above the 3% national average. For the event, staff pivoted to change the in-person annual Leadership and Legacy Luncheon to a virtual campaign called Sugar Land Strong. The purpose of the campaign was to highlight businesses within our community that exemplify the diversity and quality of Sugar Land. During this quarter, staff worked on 5 videos highlighting businesses within various industry clusters such as primary employers, higher education, small businesses, restaurants, and our hospitals. These videos were released on economic development social media platforms on May 24th through the 28th. Next, please. As part of updating economic development strategic plan, a workforce analysis and targeted industry assessment is being conducted. The analysis is expected to be completed in September of 2021 and will greatly inform the city's economic development, business recruitment, and future marketing efforts. Next, please. For highlights in the news in Q2, the Texas Economic Development Council, or TEDC, announced the recipient of its annual Economic Excellence Recognition Program for 2020. The City of Sugar Land's Type A and B Economic Development Corporations were part of an esteemed group of economic development organizations to receive the award. Hampton Inn & Suites also opened a hotel at the intersection of Highway 6 and Highway 90A in May. And Cisco Incorporated, an industry leader in rugged computing and business in our Sugar Land Business Park, announced that it has joined the NVIDIA Partner Network. New retail includes Rustica Cafe and Bakery, Malaz Sichuan Bistro, Umami Japanese Restaurant, KB's Hot Chicken, Manal Sweets, Wolfie's Restaurant and Sports Bar, and much more. For more details on these news articles and other sections of the report, please see the full report, which, like I mentioned before, will be sent to you electronically after this meeting. And so this does conclude my presentation. Any questions?
Stuart, you have a question.
Hey, Alba. Thank you for the report. I don't know if I saw it correctly, or maybe I don't understand why. It looks as if second quarter 20 hotel occupancy was higher than 21, but almost seems like it would be the reverse. What's happening here?
It's fiscal year, so January, February, March, right before it shut down.
Fiscal. Okay, thanks, Elizabeth.
Yes.
Okay,
Sure.
thank you. Sorry about that.
Any other questions from the directors? Okay, well, thank you so much, Alba, for your report. We'd like to move on to item 7, Director's Report. Elizabeth Huff, Director of Economic Development.
Good afternoon, everyone. So Alba caught a lot of my updates in her presentation about the quarter report, but just wanted to touch on a few things. We're making really good progress with the workforce and targeted industry analysis. We're having pretty much weekly meetings and really excited about that. And to bring those results back to you, they're pulled some really neat data points that I'm excited to kind of get to use and kind of retell our Sugar Land story. And then, as I'm sure you have seen, and very thankful for all of your participation, and we have gotten a significant amount of positive press from the Skeeters opening day and becoming the Astros AAA affiliate. We continue to even pick up more stories and be forwarded stuff. So excited about this partnership and this opportunity, and look forward to much more exciting times ahead of us with the Skeeters. And then lastly, but certainly not least, we are seeing our leads, prospect activity increasing significantly, not only what is coming directly to our staff, but what is coming out of the governor's office and the Greater Houston Partnership and real estate brokers in general just reaching out to us. As far as like industrial, that slowed down a little bit, but activity was still pretty strong when it came to the industrial market. But we're now seeing a lot more on the office side as well. So just wanted to update you on those things, and that's all I've got. So thank you for your time, and I hope y'all have a great rest of the day.
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. Any other comments from the board? Okay, do you have a motion to adjourn? Okay, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.